gosh, we didn't even blow the driveway or nothing. It's covered by leaves.
I know, I saw.
Everything.
Well, it would be twice as covered if we hadn't done anything, right?
Yes.
You got to look at it that way.
Yes, it is easier to kind of hit it every couple days than let it pile up for a week or two.
But we had rain, light rain, but apparently good wind overnight.
Wind, that's right.
And yeah, the driveway's covered. The parking pad's not far from it, at least over there underneath that big oak tree.
Yeah, but he ain't got a whole lot of trees left.
Don keeps saying that.
I keep hoping.
That's right, hope. I haven't seen Stripe up here in the woods yet this morning, but I hear the pileated woodpecker up above. So I'm making my trek up the hill looking for both. Oh, I saw him. He's big. He's over here on these two big trees. I saw the pileated woodpecker fly off into a neighbor's yard. Not easy to follow. So no picture this morning. And no Stripe this morning. But Tuck says, I'm here and I'll give you all of the attention. I mean, I'll let you rub on me as much as you want, Mom. So I bought this Lego architecture idea book. This would be aimed at me trying to design my own modular building versus relying on somebody else's plans, or maybe enhancing or modifying plans that I would have bought that someone else had put together. I'm pretty well fascinated with this, I have to say. The only thing is that you know, several of the things I'd like to do, I really don't have the bricks to do. But I was thinking I would like to at least try this timber framing technique with maybe some Christmas red and green and or white. I probably have enough to try it, and just to sort of play around with that. So I might do that later today. I haven't started on a new thing while I'm waiting on the bricks to finish the corner toy shop, mostly because I can't decide what I want to build. But I've been thinking about it and studying and looking and dreaming and, you know, all of that good stuff, and learning about some architecture techniques, which, while not building, helps me with building in the future. So been resting my back sitting up on the couch and not down on the floor, so that's probably a good thing too. I asked Don to help me trim a couple branches in the yard today. I don't plan to tax him too hard, maybe 30 minutes. I think I've got like 3. If we can do like 3, I'll be good.
I've already done 2.
No, that didn't count. We're taking this branch off this holly tree. Don offered to take the whole holly tree down, but I don't want that. But I do want, maybe another year, we'll see. But I want this Sesanqua camellia to have a little more sunlight, a little more breathing room, and that's why that branch for now. I can always change my mind about the tree, but I'd like to start with the branch. And I realize it's leaning, so we could have an ice storm or a wind storm or something, and, you know, it could end up coming down sometime anyway. It won't hit the house, though. Thank you, Donnie. See, doesn't that look better? You can see the top of my little tree now.
Yeah, probably look better if there was no holly tree there.
There's a squirrel's nest in the holly tree. Look up. You can't do anything to the holly tree.
Well, there's no squirrels in it now.
You don't know that. We're not fooling with it. I'm very selective about taking anything out. We're here on the side of the house now, and you can see my camellia tree. I pulled the grass back away from it yesterday, but not super far, because sometimes the deer will mess with it, and I don't want it to be too easy of a target. But I want these little branches here down. They're starting to come over toward the camellia tree, and they are on my list to go. One more branch if we can. That's probably right at the limit, with Don not, you know, able to stand flat on the ground and get it down. And there's a little pretty maple, see, right behind the tree, and I think if we take this down, that maple can grow up straight without having to try to get around that, and then B, it's not encroaching on our little open area here beside the house. Project creep, project creep. Now that I turned around this way, I told Don to see if he can reach any of those low limbs on that tree, because they're kind of creeping out over top of the camellia also. While he's over here, you know.
I hate project creep is the right word.
Yeah, since we're on about limb 5 now, and I advertised that I needed help with 3 limbs.
I've not thought heard that.
Although I did say about a half an hour, and I don't think we've been out here a half an hour, so Don's just more efficient than I thought he was. Just trimming a couple of lower branches on this big oak tree here too. I made sure to point out to Don that this olive osmanthus he planted a couple years ago is healthy and doing good, doubled in size, that his efforts of planting a plant have paid off.
Yeah.
By the catio now. Every year Don offers to take that sweet gum down, and I say no because the woodpeckers and the birds all like it, but these lower branches coming for the roof line of the house, I won't miss. And there's another Sasanqua camellia next to Don, so if that lets in a little more sunlight, since it decided to bloom this year, really for the first time, considering its size, that's great too. Don decided to take this one more out that is pretty close to the roof of the catio in the house. But it's just up high enough right at the edge of where that thing will reach, and plus it's a pretty thick branch, so he's having to work on it. I'm not going to work him too much harder though. I don't want his shoulder that was separated years ago to start giving him trouble because he overused it today. I said, but Donnie, it's only a 1-gallon pot. How bad can it be? And I only have one thing to plant this fall. I told him there's poison ivy over here, and the roots are, you know, cause problems too, so.
I get to be plant boy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Johnny's taking a break from his schoolwork. He's almost done for pre-Thanksgiving.
3 out of 4 classes for the day, and then I just have tomorrow's work.
Right, he doesn't have anything on Wednesday, and the girls are here enjoying a couple of minutes of Johnny attention. Don is getting ready to get the leaves off the side of the garage. He's got out the gutter. You might remember he attaches this to the end of the blower, and that, you know, makes this got a curve on the end of it where he can get up on the roof line pretty good. So he wants to get them off of there. I don't blame him. Your ingenuity.
Yeah, this is the 3rd year for this thing.
Yep.
And it works well.
Works
Yep.
pretty good.
Yep. I told him not to cuss my plants over there. He said no promises. You know, there's just a hydrangea and a piece of bamboo and a nandina bush and, you know, just a couple of things. Girls don't think about that when they plant stuff. Hello.
Hello.
See what we mean about the driveway? And it was clear yesterday. And I've really been blowing the leaves really far off, and they're wet a lot of times, so I don't think it's that they're blowing back on. I think it's just more coming down, for the most part anyway. I'm out playing Pokemon. I'm sitting over here at South Park facing the basketball courts. You know, I talk about this place all the time, and I never thought to show it on the maps, but you can see me facing the basketball court. So this is a fairly updated picture because the basketball court's only been there a year or two. And there's the actual community center building off to my side behind me, because I'm not parked very well. There's like nobody over here but me. And there's ball fields 1 and 2, and then there's ball field 3 where the high school teams play. And you can see the splash pad and the little buildings there in front of the splash pad. So, like I said, it really is, it's pretty big. This is where the town shoots off the fireworks. Yeah, I changed the position a bit. So this is the high school ball field 3. That's where they put off the fireworks from. You can see the trail that Dawn runs on here. And we usually watch the fireworks from right about up here on Judd Parkway. So we're looking over these trees. Yeah. Holy cow, that is a lot of gray and turkey vultures over there by the water tower. Guess it's getting to be time to come in to roost for the night. Okay, I'm here in downtown Fuquay. I've been sitting here at Mineral Springs Park for a few minutes. This buck just came out of the woods beside me. I have seen deer in downtown Fuquay before. Buddy, you should go back in the woods so nobody will hurt you. I don't want to see you get hit. I certainly don't want you to hit me. Goodness gracious, I've seen my own personal reindeer in downtown Fuquay today. That is a very small cluster of trees over there. Well, that was pretty cool seeing the deer. I was just sitting there at the stoplight at South Park on my way back to the house, and Ruby chimed at me because I have it turned on when the light turned green, and I was thinking, you know, that really could be so helpful if more cars would do that. And I think we'll see that option as we move forward with more cars having cameras and providing some sort of driver assistance. But with people eating, talking, God forbid on their phone, while staring at the scenery, whatever it is they're doing but not driving when they're waiting on lights to turn green, it's just so helpful to have the car chime. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be going now. Now I was looking anyway, but normally Ruby chimes and I see it, but there's been a couple times she's chimed and, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be going now. There's no sitting there making the person behind you, you know, have to honk the horn. So I'm all for it. I really, really, really like that feature. I'm guessing Don did not go for his run because I worked him pretty hard, and then he was doing the leaves, and you know, he'll probably have felt like he got a good bit of exercise walking around the yard, up and down the ladder, sawing with that blade on the tree limbs I had him take down. And yes, the sun is absolutely blinding. I'm actually sort of using the camera in my hand to help block it a little bit so I can see. It's really bad. Anyway, I was trying to say is I think he's had enough exercise for the day, probably, that he doesn't feel the need to go for a run on top of what else he's done outside. Speaking of Don, he's listening to his podcast, so I'm not going to try to talk to him. He's smarter than me. He goes out to the end of the driveway and starts and comes back. That way if he has to get a new battery, I saw a cat that looked like it was black up at the top of the driveway. I was trying to figure out who that could have been. Maybe Stripe. I don't know. I didn't see him today. Anyway, Don, that way if he has to run for a battery change, he's closer to the garage than farther away. Less walking. I think it was Stripe I saw run across near the carport. Because here he is. Hey, buddy. I missed you the last couple of days. I worry about you when I don't see you. I do. You're here awfully late. It's almost dark. It's a little after 4, but I mean, you know, this is the last hour of daylight. Hey, buddy, you gonna eat and go back wherever you go? Hi. I don't know. He's pretty hungry this time. He was trying to get the food before I could even get it out of the can. That's a good boy. It's a good boy. Well, you enjoy it, bud. I saw Don walking down the driveway and he wasn't blowing. I knew what that meant. So I met him with the battery. It's very handy when you have that thing on your back if someone else will swap out the battery for you. Otherwise, you got to take it all the way off, put on a new battery, and then put it all the way back on again. And that's not really fun. Whew, it's starting to get chilly out here. Gray's on her heating pad. She's got the right idea. Well, let me tell you, that timber framing looks pretty and it doesn't seem that hard, but that took me over 10 minutes to sort out. It's complicated, and you'd have to put like another wall behind it because those pieces, while they fit, they don't stay in place on their own. Was an interesting lesson in Lego architecture. How successful it was or not, I don't know. I mean, I suppose you could do a wall on a building like that, but yeah, you'd need probably need a double wall. Well, I don't know how you'd keep them from not coming back out if you move the building anyway but keep it flat. It was still fun to learn though.
I know the story.